Welcome back, everyone. Super dramatic Psycho Mantis fight.
After we take care of Meryl here.
Oh yeah,
It's so brutal the way you take her
it's
out.
a little satisfying. I'm not gonna lie.
Did I mention you have issues?
If only it was Rose. If
I
it
think
was
it's just-
Rose,
yeah,
I
it's
would have
Rose.
just killed
Yeah.
her. We didn't do
That's
that.
high praise.
I think it's justified that she's pointing a Desert Eagle at you. That, you know.
He knows my weak point is beating up Meryl, so
That's pretty fucked up.
yeah.
I mean, especially, there's a lot of things in here. This is obviously not a game for kids. But, I mean, for a little kid, like, one of the characters is threatening to point a gun at their own face and blow their head out. It's pretty fucked up.
I mean, I did play this when I was really young, so.
Let's throw back on those old thermals.
You should smoke at him. That'd be a good.
Smoke at him.
Well, it's
Here,
Snake.
I'm gonna blow a cigarette in your face.
Oh, oops.
Whoa!
I thought I had my
Grenade.
almost out. I'm not really sure how that happened.
Oh man.
I think he just kind of exclusively does the psycho balls at this point.
You gotta watch out for Mantis' psycho balls. Looks like he's throwing tires at you.
Yeah.
It does look like that.
Our Captain America shield.
It does look like Captain America's shield. It's got a little circle in the middle. That's polygons for you.
Where did he get vibranium at?
Oh.
I'm gonna check your rations there. If you got. Oh yeah, you do have one.
You know, we joke about the polygons, but at the time, when they were designing this, it was actually kind of unheard of for a game that wasn't a racing simulator or a flight simulator to use polygons. Because it was something that was used for intricate details, for things like that. So when Kojima fought to have polygons in the game, people thought he was crazy.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, this was really cutting edge at the time. But it's just so much fun to make fun of now. It's good to know that he put all that work into Meryl's ass.
Oh my god, ragdoll physics.
Alright, his body tumbling all over the place.
So Dora, how satisfying was that right now? To blow Psycho Mantis away.
Just blow him away. Pretty good.
Blowing his dick off.
Thanks, Snake.
What dick?
I owe you one. Now that Mantis is beaten, Meryl's brainwashing should wear off, right, Naomi?
Yeah, sure.
Those tight leather clothes show no dick. I'm sorry. There's nothing there.
Maybe it's because you like her.
Ooh, is Naomi jealous?
Die right in front of me.
Oh, really? Since when did anybody's death bother you so much?
Ouch.
Naomi, it's true that Snake has killed a lot of people.
He's a fucking soldier. You know what I mean? He's a fucking, like,
Oh, yes,
special ops
I think
agent.
that's when Crown defends him. He has killed a lot of people,
He's killed more people,
But
but I had a point to what I was saying. Which
but also
was-
he's my puppet, so just let him go.
Yeah.
To read the future.
Man, he's all bloody.
A strong man doesn't need to read the future. He makes his own.
Oh, shut up,
Is that true,
Snake.
Snake?
Perhaps so.
I don't know. I saw it on a TV show, so I just said it.
I read that in a fortune
He's
cookie.
got like these things written down.
To get to Metal Gear's under
I love how there's like a tinge of guilt to his like monologue here. You're
Yeah.
like,
Well, this is something else that carries over from Solid Snake. In Metal Gear 1, you beat a boss and they just explode. But in Metal Gear 2, for the MSX, you would actually get these long speeches from the bosses. It would be a little blue bubble that comes up, and there'd be text, and they would give you backstory and tell you why they did the things that they did. And then they would give you a clue, like, here's your key card, or whatever. And then they would explode.
They would just explode.
They would just
Like-
explode. Yeah, that's what Snake Eater's referencing. You know how all the bosses explode at the end of Snake Eater? It's a reference to the old MSX games.
Oh.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, I have read the pasts, presents, and futures of thousands upon thousands of men and women.
Ah.
and the audio actually changes when you
Yeah.
pull his mask off. I love it.
Why would
She
you
actually
say
said,
that?
"Oh, gross." He's all on the ground bleeding.
In his
like,
dying
"Thanks,
moments.
Well, he was trying to kill them, to be fair.
If I didn't already feel bad enough.
Atavistic desire to pass on one's seed.
See, that is something that really comes into play throughout the entire series.
Every living
And the second one, they call it memes.
exists to mine.
In Peace Walker, it's with Boss's legacy.
Design that
There is a really strong thread about fathers and sons and passing on a legacy. And I think that is like a really major point for Kojima. And even like half of the cutscene at the end of that 2-hour cutscene at the end of Metal Gear 4 is about the idea of passing on genes. And
Metal Gear Solid 2 as well. It's just
Yeah.
all about that.
this is the first time they bring it up, and it's going to become even more of a plot point later on in this game.
Humans weren't designed to bring each other happiness.
Man,
Pretty dark. Yeah.
Mantis, you're so cynical. Just because your father hated you and you're a freak and it looks like you've had your brain cut open. You look like a melted G.I. Joe. You don't have to be so bitter about everything.
Yeah, he looks like Frankenstein.
The mind I dove into was my father's.
A melted candle.
I saw nothing but disgust.
I think it's supposed to look like a shrunken head.
My mother died in childbirth,
My dad was an asshole.
and he despised me for it.
So this scene right here is like, it's obviously like a lot of things, but like taking off the mask is a lot like Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And he's let me look at you with my own eyes.
That's when my
You know what this reminds me of? Like, he models a lot of the monologues of the person who's dying. Yeah, it's a cliche in action movies that you talk to the person and they're dying in someone's arms. But the way that they're like writhing in pain and covered in blood and gasping, it's really, it's kind of visceral. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of Full Metal Jacket. At the end of Full Metal Jacket with the little girl who's been shot. And they're all standing around her. And she's just saying, shoot me, shoot me.
truly the same.
We'll talk about it because there's more references to Full Metal Jacket. I would say that because Kubrick is a huge influence, and
Place
Kojima's actually said that Kubrick is one of his favorite directors of all time. I really think that's where them standing around and bloody, because it's not like in a normal action movie where it's just kind of like bloodless and painless. This person's like slowly, like theatrically, I am dying.
Yeah.
It's like really gross, and you feel sorry for them.
Yeah, and you can hear like the liquid in their lungs.
Yeah,
Things
exactly.
like that.
Monster.
Let him talk. He doesn't have much time left.
Yeah, this is you're joking about the sympathetic snake. That
Yeah.
you get to see sometimes.
Yeah, he's very sensitive.
Sometimes,
in a weird way.
sometimes he's sensitive, and sometimes he's just really impatient, like a teenager. Mm-hmm. So it's 50-50. You get the I don't fucking care, Snake, or like, tell me all about it.
Solid
more about how
Snake
you
is
feel.
worse than Big Boss.
Yeah.
I read her mind as well.
Meryl's?
I saw you there.
She wants you
Uh-oh.
to touch her butt.
Just her butt, though.
You have a large place in your heart.
Shut up.
Yes,
She just shoots him in the face. He's dead.
but I
Right before he's able to say it. Oh man, oops.
He was expiring anyway. Moving on.
my last request.
What is it?
My mask. Put it
Oh man, it's gonna kill me. That's a reference to a movie.
like this. Other people's thoughts
Oh, where he puts the mask back on?
Yeah, and he's just put my mask back on.
before I die. I want to
I
be
hate myself that I don't get that reference.
I want to be left alone in my own world.
It's a
He doesn't
fancy-
have a nose either.
It's even chopped off.
I'll open the door for you.
But that's from X-Men.
If you want to find your future, go through that door.
The people who have telekinesis and read people's minds, they actually have to wear helmets. That's where Magneto gets his helmet. He actually wears that
Xavier
helmet.
from getting in.
Exactly. And so Professor X can't read his mind. So it's kind of weird that Kojima was like, yeah, a gas mask keeps out what people's thoughts? I don't know.
Special gas, man.
Yeah.
I always thought it had something to do with how fucked up he is. Like, because his face is so fucked up, maybe he is prone to, I don't know, to catching things, so he has to have a special...
And the snake's like, well, that was fucking weird. Anyway.
Go, Meryl.
I'm sorry.
I guess I just always thought it had something to do with how fucked up he was. Like, he needed...
Could be. It could be just like a psychological
something.
thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, probably.
I also like he's trying to have like a focus, like Meryl's in focus and then Snake goes out of focus, like that depth of field there.
Yeah.
That's not something you ever see in video games.
Just let it make you stronger.
At least in '98, yeah.
You're right.
The deer heads in the background. Also in Twin Snakes, they make this whole like they go over the top with the Psycho Mantis fight. Like the room bursts into flames. The portraits start laughing at you. It's exactly like that scene in Evil Dead 2 when the cabin goes crazy. But it's really over the top. Like it zooms in. It zooms in on the portraits, and I think one of the portraits turns into Kojima.
Oh, yeah, it's just really cheesy.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't-
It takes you out of it.
Yeah.
A name means nothing on the battlefield.
How old are you?
Old enough to know what death looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's actually it's interesting too, because I think one of the reasons that you don't like Metal Gear Solid 4 is because they try to explain too much.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is about Snake is that Kojima has said that you're not supposed to know anything about him. He's not supposed to have a backstory. He's not supposed to have a personal life because he's supposed to be like Snake Plissken in Escape from New York. In Escape from New York, all you know about Snake Plissken is that he's a convict and that he robbed a bank. I think later on that they give you some sort of reference about something from his personal life, but you have to switch it back. And also with The Man with No Name, the Clint Eastwood movies, where Ocelot is based on Lee Van Cleef. In all of those movies, you know nothing about Clint Eastwood. You don't even know his fucking
Gotta go
name.
1A.
They just call him Blondie. And that's Good, Bad, the Ugly. But I think Kojima has actually said, the less you know about Snake, the better. And that's why Metal Gear Solid 2 is supposed to end on a cliffhanger. It's supposed to be like one of those, like the Man with No Name trilogy, they aren't supposed to have like a beginning and end. It's supposed to be like this endless saga, this man constantly going on adventures. Indiana Jones or something. And it's supposed to be that Metal Gear Solid 2 wasn't supposed to have any sort of ending. Maybe Metal Gear Solid for you is kind of a betrayal of that sense. Of like that he's supposed to be like this template of an action hero. Mm-hmm. When you start to give him backstory, and that's going to be really complicated when you get to like the Phantom Pain and stuff, and you have this backstory to the point where it's actually like cyclical, where you can see it catching up with its own tail.
Half husky.
How do you know so much?
I ride dog sleds. I'm a musher.
It's from Alaska.
It really bothered me
Snake, you follow me.
just the amount of explanation he was giving that didn't need to be given.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much that I didn't need explained that I just accepted and suspended my disbelief on, and then he felt like he needed to go explain for some reason, or fans wanted explained, and I think there's a lot of value in not explaining everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that serves exactly what I was just talking about, not explaining who Snake is. I mean, it's exactly the sort of... It lets you fill in your own gaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Snake can be whoever you want him to be.
And it allows for conversation instead of, like, objective, like, this is the way it is.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the Metal Gear Solid...
Look at that snow, man.
Purple snow.
Looks like rose petals, or cherry blossom petals. What were you saying?
I think a lot of the Metal Gear Solid world is that there's really no explanation for some of the things that goes on. Like, some of it is just
It's ambiguous.
supernatural. Some
Yeah.
of it is just really... Oh,
shit!
Damn wolves.
Is there any game where the fucking dog/wolf characters aren't the fucking worst enemies in the entire game?
Any game
in
with
the
birds in
original
it.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
Well, the original games had
They did have
that were
dogs in them.
bitch.
Yeah, but they were... Yeah, exactly. They were fucking horrible.
I like kicking them in the teeth, though. That's really...
You just like kicking anything in the teeth.
especially these fucking wolves, because they're the worst.
God, like twitches. And that howling in the background, that is something that I would say is directly like Silent Hill. That sort of whimpering in the background, it's very haunting. It gets a little annoying later, but
Yeah.
it's still cool.
I don't think it gets annoying.
That's a big puppy.
What's wrong?
It's a wolf.
You're good with dogs.
You're right, it's like as tall
Hit
as...
Meryl and then hide in your cardboard box.
They were supposed to be a baby, not a big wolf.
There is one in the background.
Like, they were supposed to be the baby that was, like, loving on you, not the,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
the big wolf. Oh, there he is. And he pisses on you.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Now I like you.
That is fucked up.
Now we're big fans.
You know, you can fuck with Snake all you want. You do not fuck with a cardboard box. That is unforgivable. You punch the puppy.
I know. Alright, I thought you were supposed to be on point, Meryl. Come on.
To go back what we were talking about before, I think that ambiguousness of the Metal Gear universe, I think that's why we're all here talking about the show right now.
Yeah.
Is because it's just so much fun to talk about, and that's like the nature of the show. Mm-hmm. I mean, there might be later shows that we do with other games, but I don't really think that we can get as lost
Radar is working.
in any other franchise as we can in Metal Gear, because there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
I love this pattern recognition puzzle here. Even though you don't have to really memorize it because you can follow her footsteps, but kind of like a bit like Operation, like don't touch the sides.
Oh, yeah. There's a puzzle like this in the MSX games. What's an electrified floor?
Right.
And not the one that you have to shoot with the Nikita. There is another one where you have to follow it through the footsteps. No, it's what I'm thinking of. There's that sand level where there's mines, and it's in Solid Snake.
What do you think?
And you have to have a mine detector. And it's supposed to be like one of the hardest games in one of the parts of any game is because you can't see the pattern. You have to memorize it.
Right.
And you just die over and over again.
I hate things like that in video games where they're just like, it's implied that you're going to die a lot. just to do one.
Oh yeah, her
thing.
footprints do disappear.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna.
What happens if you put on your thermal goggles?
Oh, I guess we can do that too.
I didn't really need you, Meryl.
It's funny that I never thought to do this, to crawl.
Really?
Even though at this point in the game you already know to crawl.
It's established, yeah.
I just never thought to do it.
Well, that's one of those things where, like, you can, if you want to have the, like, test your knowledge of memorizing her footsteps, you can, or you can just cheat and use the thermal goggles.
Yeah.
We're all about cheating. And this, she's aiming at her ass. This, more than anything, is just like Full Metal Jacket. Because the whole end of Full Metal Jacket is all about a sniper. Full Metal Jacket
Oh
is
yeah, we
one
kind
of...
of realized this for the first time because we watched Full Metal Jacket recently.
Yeah.
We're like, isn't it just like that part in Metal Gear Solid? Because it really is.
So Full Metal Jacket is a movie by Stanley Kubrick that came out in the late 80s. It's about Vietnam and these Marines in Vietnam. And the whole, like, last 20 minutes of the movie is about these this platoon of Marines are exploring this blown out city, and then they get trapped in this area with one sniper. And this sniper is trying to draw them out so he can pick them off one by one. And the way that they do it is that they shoot one soldier, and that soldier's left out in the open and bleeding. And what the sniper does is they shoot the one soldier over and over again until the other Marines are so pissed off that they just go blindly charging
they're just
out.
like non-lethal shots. Like.
And that line right there, where she says, "Shoot me," that's what I was talking about earlier. They eventually find the sniper, and they shoot the sniper, and then it's this little girl. It's a child soldier, which is something that we're going to see later in the series. It was one of the first depictions of child soldiers in a war movie.
I can still help.
And it's supposed to be, like, triumphant that they got the sniper, but it's really sad and pathetic when she's laying in a pool of blood. And she's just begging over and over again, "Shoot me, shoot me, shoot me."
Yeah, she's got like she's like a little girl with braids. And...
Yeah, she's like 13 or 14 years old. It's really fucked up.
There's nothing glamorous about it.
I think Saving Private Ryan kind of, like, rips it off a little bit. There's a scene where they're in a courtyard and one of the characters gets taken out by a sniper.
Don't forget me.
Another reference, Metal Gear Solid, Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, where else? I mean, that's such an obvious influence on the name. I mean, Kubrick is one of his favorite directors.
Meryl.
This is really fucked up, too. As much as we joke about beating up Meryl, seeing her get, like, shot apart.
Yeah.
Also, it kind of... Any other normal person would be fucking dead.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to hand it to Meryl that she takes several fucking sniper rounds.
Sniper Wolf, Foxhound's best shooter.
I don't know. This is really fucked up.
She's not. I mean, I would never say that Meryl is a incapable character.
If anything, it's
Never,
just
ever.
tough.
If anything, she's very capable, and she kind of proves that in 4.
For you to expose yourself.
Maybe so, but Meryl can't hold out that long.
Snake, can you see Wolf from where you are?
Like, here, she's just using her to lure you out. That's exactly, I mean, exactly from Full Metal Jacket.
Wolf is in the communications.
Oh, how fucked up is this for Colonel? Oh, we can't talk about it right now, but it's really, really weird for him to be watching this. But he's pretty good at watching horrible things happen and not talk about it.
I'm gonna save Meryl.
Pretty good at just keeping his mouth shut.
No matter what the fuck it takes.
Thanks.
He looks so cool right there. I mean, not like cool as impressive, but just like unimpressed.
Yeah.
Snake is just like, yeah, I guess.
You got the genes of a soldier, not a
I really love these drawings. I think I really like seeing the characters in these drawings. The way that they're done, I think, is really cool. Especially like Meryl. I was like, I didn't even know she was pretty, and then they pulled her up on on the codec, and I'm like, suddenly she's pretty.
Don't need an excuse.
I don't need an excuse.
And I'm not doing it for someone else either.
You know, I had forgotten.
Meryl for myself.
I always talk about how much I like Boss more than I like Snake, because Boss is my favorite character in the series. A big boss. But they do, in the first game at least, they really do go out of the way to try to make Snake as heroic. Almost like stupidly heroic. Like right now. Because that's what happens in Full Metal Jacket, is that there's one soldier who's like, fuck this, I'm not playing this game. And he just goes out there and he tries to save the other soldiers, but that's how they take care of the sniper. It's because he does that. He's just like, fuck it. You know, I don't care what anyone says, I'm just going to save these people.
So we're on our way back to get the sniper rifle so we can help out Meryl, and we'll probably pick up there.
But look at these
Next
wolves!
episode.
Oh, the glowing red eyes. So tune in next episode for the glowing red eyes. See ya.
Growling at me. The puppy's growling at me.